Hello, I'm your Kingdom Spiritual Transformational and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor, Latricia Booker. And I'm popping in on you to tell you that they didn't know who you were. They did not know who you were. And I'm going to lead this message with Acts 16, verses 35 through 38. And it says, when it was daylight, the magistrates sent their officers to the jailer with the order, release those men. The jailer told Paul, the magistrates have ordered that you and Silas be released. Now you can leave. Go in peace. But Paul said to the officers, they beat us publicly without a trial, even though we are Roman citizens, and threw us into prison. And now, do they want to get rid of us quietly? No, let them come themselves and escort us out. The officers reported this to the magistrates, and when they heard that Paul and Silas were Roman citizens, they were alarmed. And so came the people. This passage speaks of when Silas and Paul were thrown into jail because, of course, they were speaking, preaching, and teaching the gospel of Christ, the good news. And, these people didn't like it. And they were put in jail because of it. And so eventually, there were some talks going on, and they came through of the magistrates, and they came to a decision to go ahead and release them. And the thing is that when they, as you saw from the passage, that when they came to release them, the jailer came to tell them that they could go. Paul was like, tell them to come release us themselves. And he just made it known that he was a Roman citizen. And so when the jailer went and reported back to the magistrates, they were alarmed because they did not realize that he was a Roman citizen. And so came the people. that was a no-no for them to do that to a Roman citizen. But that's the thing. You don't know who people are. People just be going on and on and on about thinking they could just do whatever, sometimes because of their position or so-called authority, and not realizing who you are and the problems they can bring upon themselves because of who you are and because of the way they're handling you, or mishandling you, should I say, because of who you are. And so came the people, just like Paul was a Roman citizen and that was a no-no for them to handle him in that manner. You are a kingdom citizen, and it's a no-no for you to be mishandled, yet people have mishandled you. Now, there are some people who at some point realized who you are, after the fact, of course. And they're a little bit alarmed because you know how the saying go, had they known who you were, they probably would have treated you differently. But I have this thing where I'm always like, just treat people properly. Then you won't have to worry about that. Even scripture tells us you never know when you're entertaining an angel. You never know who's who and what's what. And so God had brought this to my attention again this morning about how, going through life, he hid who I was. And kingdom people, God be hiding who you are from people. They can see glimpses of light. I'll call it that. They see something in you. They see your spirit. They even see your tenacity. They see something great in you, which is why many of the times the ones that do come against you, that's why they do. You know how those same people tend to down talk you and say horrible things about you. Some of them have even said you're not nothing, you'll never be nothing. And if they didn't say it, they thought it. But many of these people have talked down on you like you were nothing. And yet, at the same time, they were trying to hinder you, trying to keep you from progressing, trying to keep you from moving forward. Also, just to point out, many a times when they're talking down to you, especially to another, that is an attempt to talk you down, to say, of course, like I just said, say you're nothing or whatever they're saying about you. But the thing is, if you're not nothing or whatever they may be saying, why is there even a discussion about you? Furthermore, when they do all these things to try to sabotage you and hinder you from moving forward, if you're someone who's not nothing, if you're someone who's never going to be anything, if they really perceive you and believe you to just not amount up, that you will never amount up to nothing, why go through the extremes of trying to stop you, hinder you, and sabotage you to keep you from moving forward? You don't try to keep someone from moving forward that you think won't do that. Just think about that. It makes no sense. So I'm saying all that to say that although these people saw a glimpse in you, which is why they did mishandle you, they did try to get in your way and hinder you from moving forward, from being who God called you and created you to be, they really didn't know who you really were. They saw something, but they didn't get the magnitude of who you were. They didn't understand how protected you were, how protected you are. They don't understand that you have a higher calling, that God called you to do great things on this earth. And he pulled you out. He separated you. He chose you. They didn't understand all that. They didn't understand all that. They didn't know that they had a treasure with them. They didn't realize it until you were gone. And then maybe some more attempts to stop, block, and all what they do to no avail happen. And at some point, they get wind of who you really are. Unfortunately, some of these people still keep going and trying to stop, block. But that's a whole nother thing, because many people, what happens is kingdom people, they so infatuated with what they were trying to do with you, and even though it's not working, and they have come to terms with who you are, more so than they understood and knew, they just kind of already got going in this wheel, and it's like they can't stop. It's like they're so obsessed with their initial plan, because a lot of these people, you heard me say it before, y'all probably but a lot of people just have a thing with not wanting, in their mind, not wanting to see you do better than them. Not understanding that God has called you up higher. It doesn't mean that he didn't call them for something significant. But what God spoke to me about today is this. He said that, well, first let me say this. He was bringing something to my attention again. And these ones who, steadily going, he was bringing to my attention someone who was, steadily going, trying to figure out a way how they going to get me, all kind of crazy stuff. And so I've said this before, but I said, I think that's interesting that you put so much time in trying to hinder someone else, when you could use that same time and energy to help yourself, build yourself up. Because kingdom people, the truth is, you're building yourself up. You're putting in the time to help you. You're putting in the time and energy to move forward in what God has called you to do. You're not focused on these people, even though you know what they're up to. You're not putting your attention on them. You're aware, you're mindful, you're cautious, so you know how to move and navigate. You know how to protect yourself. I think I said it already. But you're focused on your task at hand, because you have plenty to do. You got bigger fish to fry. You got stuff to do. You have no time or energy to focus on them. And even if you had time and energy to do so, or you can take time and energy to do so, you don't want to do that, because it's not of importance to you. It's not a priority. Your priority is moving into what God is calling you to. And so when I said to God, it's interesting to me that they can take that same time and energy and put it into themselves. God said to me, they can't. He said they can't. And that was shocking to me. And then he went on to say, well, many a times I brought you to them to help build that up in them, so that to help them with that. But because they mishandled you, because they didn't really know who you were. They didn't know who you were. They seen something in you, which is what caused the jealousy, which caused, the envy, which caused them trying to hinder you and keep you from moving forward. Because again, they have a thing in their mind. They don't want you to be better than them, which is ludicrous, when in fact, in these cases, God sent you to help them to become better, to build something up in them that they actually lack. And you have, and you carry, and in some cases building up in yourself, but they mishandle you. They mishandle you because of what they saw in you. But again, they didn't know who you really were. They really didn't know who you really were. Now, the other thing is this, where God said to me, the other reason why they can't do that, put that energy into themselves, because some of them have done, well, first of all, their mindset is wrong. See, one of the things we had to do, kingdom people, and we have to continue to do is be transformed by the renewing of our mind. These people refuse to do that. They're not on that. They just want what they see. They want certain things, but we already know how it goes. Say it with me, kingdom people. They're not willing to do the work, the inner work, the God work. They're not willing to do that. They just want the results. And so because their mindset is wrong, they're thinking the wrong thoughts. They haven't had a transformation of their mind. So he said they don't have the ability to put the energy in, the time and energy in to build themselves in that proper manner. Now, this is the thing to that, kingdom people. Anybody can go. I said this to God. I said, well, I'm not encouraging this, but they can go out into the world and do it the world's way. God said this to me. He brought back to my remembrance something he told me years ago. He said, when people come across you, when anybody has crossed your path, has met your acquaintance or whatever the case may be, it's not meant for them to do it the world's way. God said they have to do it his way, God's way, for it to happen. God brought that to my remembrance. He had told me that years ago. And so it's to say, he told me to share this with you, kingdom people, because God is saying they can't do it the world's way. Here it is. They have tried. It didn't work. You know why? Because it's not for them too. Now, that doesn't mean they haven't gained some success or had some progress, but it's all flatline. Why, kingdom people? Because it's God's will for them to do things his way. But unfortunately, they went all the wrong way and they mishandled you. And God, like I said already, in some cases had you there to assist them with that, but they mishandled you. They tried to hinder you, sabotage you, wanted to be above you. I just heard wanted to be above their teacher. And not that that's what you were trying to be. Or listen, if God send help, let them help. If God sends somebody there and that's what they are to you, receive it. But these people wanted to be above you, so they couldn't receive what God sent you for. They was trying to push you down of who he created you to be and what he sent you to do. And they wanted to rise up in who you are, not done none of the work. They're not even that. But they want to be seen as that they haven't even become yet, if at all. But anyway, kingdom people, God went on to say to me that many of these people have done so much evil that it's just beyond them to even, it's not there. In other words, God is not blessing mess. So he doesn't even let them have the ability to do that at this point. It's not there. It's just not there. He went on to tell me that many of these people, not all, but some of them don't even have a soul anymore. And he said to me, that he brought to mind to me certain people who I've looked at. And when you look at their eyes, it's black. It either is just black or they turn black. And those are people who don't have souls anymore. They're gone. They're done so much evil, and they have allowed those demonic entities to just take over them, that they're not there anymore. And so they don't have the ability to build and put that energy into themselves to build in a God way, because he's not there anymore. He's gone. It's just not there. So here's the thing, kingdom people, going back to, they didn't know who you were. They did not know who you were, which again is why they mishandled you. Listen, I'm just being reminded right now of how some people, because you're new to them, they don't know you. Again, they don't know who you, they didn't know who you were. They don't know you, but you're new to them. And some people, sometimes they're so used to operating in a certain way, when they come across you, they attempt to do the same thing with you, not knowing who you are, not getting it. But remember what I said, once they come across you, once you have crossed their path, that's an indication that it's for them to now change and do things God's way. God sends you for that purpose. Whatever they do with it is another thing. But going back to what I was saying, they try you, they plot on you, they try to set you up, they play all these mind games, they position themselves, they do all of these things, but they do it not understanding that you see right through it. You know what they're doing. Here's the thing. They don't know who you are. They didn't know who you were. At some point, in some instances, they catch wind of it, and sometimes they kind of knew and seen, but you got to understand, people who are not there don't get it. How it's like this. Many people are trying to figure you out. They be trying to figure you out as if it's their job to figure you out. But that's what they're doing, and that's what they do. Why? Because that's how they move. That's how they roll. They busybodies. They ain't clearly, listen, one thing I've learned about people like that is they're not completely satisfied with themselves and their own lives. Because if you are, you wouldn't be looking at somebody else trying to figure them out all up in their garden. Now, it's one thing to be aware, and it's like, interesting. But when you start playing all these games and start trying to do this and set up traps and listen, ain't nothing normal about that. Ain't nothing right about that. Ain't nothing okay. Anytime somebody's operating like that, there's always a hidden agenda. And one of them, I just told you, they're trying to figure you out. They're trying to get up in your business. They want to know, but why? To compare. And or sometimes they want something from you. People be wanting something from you. And those behaviors are always an indication that that's what's going on. They kind of tell on themselves. But again, they don't realize that they're doing that. Why? Because they don't know who you are. They don't realize that you see right through them. You see, listen, they don't get that. Because why? They don't know who you are. They didn't know who you were. So again, Kingdom people, some people are coming to terms with the fact that they messed up a good thing. Some people are coming to terms with, wow, this person, you Kingdom people, was God sent. And they completely fumbled you. Completely. They dropped the ball. And now they want you to pick it up. And you're running in the other direction. Because you don't want to have anything to do with all the buffoonery that they have already demonstrated. Like, that was their opportunity. And in many cases, they missed it. Why, Kingdom people? Because they did not know who you were. And again, unfortunately, so many people are so used to just doing things the way that they do them. And like I said, they run up on you like willy-nilly, thinking they just getting ready to, handle you, thinking you're an easy target. That's what they think. They're like, oh, this will be easy. And it's not. It'll never happen. But they don't get that because they didn't get that. They didn't get that memo because they didn't know who you were. But now they're finding out, even if they don't know. They know you ain't the one. They know you're not the one to be played with. And if they want to keep trying it, they just going to find out. They going to end up upside down because God going to flip them upside down. And if they keep playing, he going to drop them and they're going to be on their head. And it's all because they didn't know who you were. But like I said before, the thing is, leave people alone. That's a lesson for them. People need to leave people alone and stop being on all this devilish, demonic behavior. Because if I be real, Kingdom people, God is fed up with it. He's slaughtering these people who is allowing the devil to just use them. They allow the devil to put these batteries in their back, and they just going and going and going. And then they come across a God God's kingdom people, you kingdom people, and it's game over. Once they come up on you, God is shutting the whole operation down. That's why he sent you, to shut the operation down so they can make a change in the transition, so they can learn. Someone said something to me yesterday. I was sharing something with them about, and this is an older lady. I was sharing how, this kind of same thing, how I often experience that where, people, because, we about our business, kingdom people. We're about our Father's business. I was sharing with her how several years ago, someone told me, they said that you're very mission minded. You wake up on a mission every day. And he said, everybody not like that. But what I learned about that, everybody don't have a mission. Everybody don't have purpose. Everybody don't have goals. And I was just sharing with her, when people don't really have any of that going on, or maybe it ain't whatever. They may, like I said, maybe yours just look more interesting. So that's why they're trying to be all up in your business, trying to figure out your stuff. Of course, going about things all the wrong way. But the point that I was making to her was how they get to tripping on you because you're about something. You're a go-getter. And she said, well, they should be learning from you. They suppose they should be. You actually are being an example to them. I said, I know that. And I went on to say, but some of these people are older. They're elders. And before I could even finish my sentence, she said they're threatened by you. So, older people, because I've experienced that, elders jealous. Elders like, what? Because you're an example to them. And they feel like they're the older one. So they should be being an example to you. But the problem is they're not. They're not. And it's not like, and that's not everybody, of course, kingdom people. It's not like you walking around like, I'm an example to you. It don't have nothing to do with you. It's their own problem. It's their own insecurities. It's their own self-hatred. But they want to take it out on you. But this is the thing. They never get nowhere like that. I literally just heard they ain't even trying to get nowhere. Which goes back to why they be trying to suppress you. Because they ain't trying to go nowhere. They ain't trying to level up. They need you to go somewhere and sit down so they can look like they the big boss or whatever the case may be. But anyway, kingdom people, the point here is they didn't know who you were. And I just heard, and I'm talking about your family too. Some people even knew somewhat who you were, but they didn't really know who you were. Because again, if they knew who you were, certain things they would have never done. They would not have mishandled you the way they did. They knew there was something in you, but because of what was in them, all the insecurities that they never worked through, all the trauma that they never healed from, all the inner conflict that they never resolved, the people. But you did, you do, you are. You're doing the work. And kingdom people, because of that and because of what you did and what they didn't do or what they did do or whatever the case may be, it's a no-go. It's all a no-go. Why, kingdom people? Because they didn't know who you were. And the truth is, if I be honest, now it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. You can't go and do all these evil deeds and harbor jealousy in your heart towards someone like that and think you're going to get a do-over with them. That's beyond me, because some of these people want to reconcile with you. And it's like, what? With the devil? With someone that got all this stuff going on with them because they ain't done the work. Some of them want your help now, but they don't want your help. Some of them might do want your help to help them to actually do what you really was there for. But again, it's too late. Too much damage has been done already. And they've already shown you who they are. Now it's between them and God. And whoever else God choose to use, but it won't be you. It won't be you, kingdom people. Not in these cases that I'm speaking of. Of course, always let the Holy Spirit lead you. Put these things in its proper perspective. But kingdom people, they didn't know who you were. They didn't know who you really were. They really didn't know. And that's all I have to say about that. So if you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that red subscribe button to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you. Make sure you click on that bell so that you can receive a notification every time I upload a new video. Something like this, my kingdom people. My throat was getting dry and I felt like I was getting ready to cough. Excuse me. Kingdom people, if you need any information about me, excuse me, you can find all that right down below in the description box. Kingdom people, I thank you all so much for being here. I feel like I'm getting ready to choke, but I'm going to get through this. I thank you all for viewing my videos, for all your likes, subscribe, shares, comments, feedback, for all your financial contributions to my channel, for all the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry, for all of your bookings, all of your purchases. Kingdom people, I just thank you all so very much. You are so very appreciated. Thank you. Now, Kingdom people, I love you all so very much. You all know I don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my Kingdom people down. Now, Kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are untouchable, we are unstoppable, we are unmovable, and we are unbreakable. That is my time. I got a cough. Jesus girl is out. Peace.